Hey folks, I just wanted to go over the pieces of my night vision system that I built. The grand total cost for this was in the neighborhood of I think about $80. I've spent more money than that on it because I've been experimenting and playing around and trying to find a better way to do it. But I thought there were a couple of people asking me about it, and I thought I'd just make a quick video to show them how I did it. All of the pieces I sourced originally off of eBay, but I really kind of hate eBay, so I found alternate sources at Amazon.com, and I'll put those in the doobly-doo down below on the video. And I guess to show you guys what it is that I made, I will switch the camera around so that you can see it. Just a moment. Okay, so without power, you don't have a night vision system. So this is a little tiny battery. It's a small battery power pack. It's 12 volt, if I remember correctly, 12.6 volt according to the label. It has power in, power out. One weird little quirk about this: when you're charging it, you have to turn the power on, or else it won't charge. I don't know why that is, but it is what it is. The next piece of this is a power splitter. I forget what the actual dimensions are on this, but it's a couple millimeters. It's like 3 millimeters or 2.5 millimeters or something like that. I forget what it is. But the purpose of this is to split the power coming out of the battery and delivering it to the monitor, the DVR, and then into the camera. Now the camera you can't really see, but it's hidden inside this tube that I've built. So what I did was, I will start at the camera. So inside here is the camera, and it is a little tiny mobile, they call it a security camera, but I think it actually is designed to be used in RC airplanes and drones and things like that, because it's really tiny. It's about 1 inch square and maybe 3/4 of an inch at its thickest point where the lens is at the center of the square. And then I bought it's a turbo hose for a car. I think it was 2.5 inches in diameter, and I put a couple of hose clamps on it, and then there is a plumbing fitting in the back. It's a piece of flexible rubber, and I just punched a hole in the back and threaded the wires through, and then I taped them at the bottom as securely as I could so that the wire wouldn't move, because it's a pretty thin, fragile wire, so we don't want to mess that up. But anyway, that wire comes down, and you have 2 cables. A red cable, which is curiously similar to the Y power splitter, and you have this, I think these are called bin connectors. I don't know what that stands for. I'll have to look that up sometime, but anyway, they're different than an RCA cable, and it took me a while to find out how to use that, but it plugs into the DVR right here. And the way that works is it plugs in, and then you twist it and it locks into place. You can see there's a little divot there, and that matches up with the pins that are on this. And then coming out of that, I can find it, there's power, and there's another bin connector, and you may be wondering, well, what is that for? Well, that is video out. And this is power, power out to the camera, and this one is power in from the battery. So I'm going to attempt to plug this all in so you can see how it works, and I apologize if it looks a little bit hokey. So here is the, let's see if I can get this, the video cable for the LCD monitor, and there's a little bin adapter. It plugs into the RCA cable. This plugs into the DVR, twist it, and it locks into place. The video cable then plugs into, this is hard to do and keep it in the video. Let me move this so you can see it. Apologies. You have to hold on to it or else it won't lock. Okay, that's locked. Now, we need power for the camera, right? Here is our twin cable splitter. It's just a Y. So one of these is going to go to the DVR. And then one of these goes to the Y power splitter. Now, the LCD screen needs power too. So the other Y power splitter plugs into that. And then the end of the Y power splitter, it's a female connector, plugs into the male from the battery. Now when you turn on, let's see if I can tilt this up. When I turn on the power, let me take off the lens cap on this. We should have power here, maybe. Unless I did it all backwards. Yeah, I must have. Well, it says it has power. Oh, there it is. Just took a second for the DVR to boot up. So let's see if I can look through the... I'm actually moving my rifle around because the camera is back here. I'll try to do this. I bumped something. I think I've got a bad power connection, but forgot to mention. Let's see if I can get this focused on something that's a little darker so that it means something. This is with the lights on in my house, obviously. So I'm going to turn out the lights, and then I'm going to turn on the infrared torch that I have on the front of this. Give me just a second to turn out the lights. I think that's going down. Alright, so there's that doorknob, and that's almost completely dark. I don't know if I think the battery's dead in my torch. Great. Okay, so one of the things that occurred to me is that I can't actually show you the camera because it is stuck inside that turbo air hose. And there's no way to easily get it off and put it back on and make sure it's square again. So I'm going to try to grab a still off of the Amazon website, and I'll post that in the video and at the end of this to show you. But I did have some of the extra parts that I bought that I used to play around with trying to figure out how to attach the thing to a scope. So this is the first thing that I bought. You can see it's just a rubber hose. It's flexible, and it's a laminate. There's some cloth impregnated in it. It's silicone rubber, so it's high temperature, but it's black, so no light gets through it. And I bought some other stuff. So there's another plumbing fixture, and here's another piece that I bought because I didn't know what sizes I was going to need, or I wasn't even sure which scope I was going to put it on, so I had to kind of cover all my bases. Some of the other ideas I toyed with, and I think this for other people with other guns and things, this might work also, but I also had some, this is just PVC or ABS, I'm not sure. I think this one's ABS, and I think this one's PVC, but one's black, one's white, but both of them will block light. And just coincidentally, they fit inside each other, which I thought was kind of, I mean, they fit so tight that you can actually create a vacuum in there, which I thought was kind of cool. But so anyway, those are some of the ideas that I played with for different ways to mount the camera And like I said, the system that I came up with ultimately it's a little hokey, but it works, and it's actually pretty stable and solid. I've carried my rifle around with me, and I shot it in the backyard. I've taken it out to a friend's house, stuff like that. So it's fairly stout. The one thing I do need to come up with a better solution for is how to mount the video camera. I saw someone online posted a photo of what they did, and they actually had a Picatinny mount that they fabricated at the bottom of the monitor. Now the monitor looks like this, to give you an idea, and it's designed to mount on the dashboard of your car or on the window or something like that. So I think it's supposed to kind of go like this, so you can have a camera pointed out the front of your car, and then this, or maybe a rear view camera, I'm not sure, but at any rate, I'm still trying to figure out how to mount this best, and right now the system I have is not real pretty. Let me show you what it looks like whenever I get the monitor on there. So what I have is just, let's see if I can get this, some rubber bands, and let's see if I can point that up there. So I crisscrossed the rubber bands so that they go over one side of the base, and the other one goes over the other side of the base, and they kind of sit on the scope, the adjustment turrets. So it actually holds it pretty steady on there, but because this thing sticks out, I didn't want it breaking. And this way with rubber bands, it just kind of flops around. It's almost like a spring load. So it works out pretty well. I'm still working on the best way to attach all of these components to the rifle while I'm out in the field, or if I'm shooting off a bench, it doesn't really matter. I just plop all this mess of wires down on the table. But when I'm moving around, I actually have to kind of bundle it all up. I've tried a couple of different ways. I wrap it all up in electrical tape. I've tried putting it in a bag that I hang off the gun, and nothing has really worked real well yet, but eventually I'll come up with something. I have some electrical project boxes that I bought off of eBay, and you can also get them off of Amazon, of course. But these are just empty black boxes, and they are almost big enough to fit all the components in, but not quite. So I'll see if maybe I can figure out some combination of maybe one of these on each side of the rifle attached somehow or something like that. But anyway, that's what I still have to do. So coming up here, I have some video of me shooting the gun during the day, and you can see it's kind of like a funky color, I think because of the IR filter on the camera, but it's really bright, and I think the video is pretty crisp. It also gives you an example of what the DVR captures. And then after that, I do a little target shooting, like a series of 10 shots on paper, and it's in my backyard. It's only 10 yards. But and then after that, I do 10 shots or so at night, and that is actually pretty interesting to me because I was playing around with different infrared light emitters and found one that works pretty well, and it's really cheap, which is really nice. But it's the way it's mounted is not ideal. So again, I'm still working on ironing out all the pieces of that, but I hope just to give people some ideas, and then they'll come up with their own solutions. All right. I think that's it. If you want to get in touch with me, you can find me on the forums, and you can also probably just leave me a message on this video, and I will try to respond to people. This isn't going to be my life, but I will get back to you as soon as I can if I see the message. All right. Have a good one. Bye. thing I wanted to show everyone, you may have seen it a little bit earlier in the video. There's a big tangled mess of wires on the edge of my table, and that is kind of a special treat that I have for another video, but I'm going to post a little quick shot of it and see if anyone can guess what it is or what it's going to be. Alright, so see if you can guess what this is, or what it's going to be. I'll give you a hint. It uses almost all of the same components as the NightVision system, but there's one extra piece in it. Actually, two if you want to get picky.